right, everybody made it. That's good, we got back here. I'm gonna try to talk to you guys and them a little bit, so I'll be bouncing back and forth. But hello, I'm Charlie Buehler. I don't know if I've met everyone here, but I know I've talked to a few of you. I'm the executive director here at IPR. And I would like to welcome everyone for joining us for our winter and spring 2021 commencement ceremony. I'm honored to be here with you all, as is everyone else here. I've had the opportunity to be a part of many commencement ceremonies in my time, and I think we can all agree that this one is probably a little bit different than you had expected. You probably envisioned something very different when you started your journey with us. I suppose in the beginning, when you heard that we are creative and we adapt with the needs and demands of the time, you didn't quite expect for things to play out the way that they did. Your final quarters and your graduation certainly gave you a little bit of a surprise. As you thought about those final quarters, your program and what everything was going to look like, you most likely thought that it would be a little different. Well, it was, but you did it. And though, as you learned through your studies, and we all know about the industry, things don't always go as planned. Often, I think we allow ourselves to spend way too much time on the bad and not focus on the good. So let's be real. 2020 was full of some awful things, to say the least. But there have been some great things that have happened throughout that year and throughout this year. Today is a prime example of that. I firmly believe that in times like these, when good things happen, we have to take note. They are truly good things. You getting to your graduation and to this point is truly an amazing thing. After all, you've witnessed some, well, again, interesting things over the last 15 months. It may feel weird celebrating, but you need to. You need to allow yourself to feel the joy and feel that sense of accomplishment because you've earned it. I know that we all here at IPR feel those same things for you. Joy and appreciate your sense of dedication and honestly celebrate your accomplishments. So today we're gonna, look back a little bit, but it's also about looking forward. From my experience, you probably haven't had the chance to do much of that in your studies. You're always in the moment. You're working on what's right in front of you. So I ask you today to stop and think about where you are right now and how you got here. Take a moment to soak in what you're going through, what you've accomplished, and what you've dreamed about. On behalf of the staff and faculty here at IPR, I want to be the first today to congratulate you on your amazing accomplishments. You're going to hear that a couple of times. So now, I have the privilege of introducing your commencement speaker, Portia Heller. Go ahead, give it up. I'm confident, obviously, that you all know her well. So I don't need to go on and say too much about her. But I'll say this, though. Portia represents the spirit of our faculty and our school. And there is no doubt in my mind that she cares deeply about each student that she's taught. She often talks about the texts and conversations that she has with her students, past and present, at all hours of the day and night. And Portia, I know you had some big ideas about how you wanted this to go today. So I hope Kyle did okay. I mean, at a minimum, we're not on Zoom, right? So that's pretty good. So please join me again in welcoming Portia to the stage.
Hi. Let's give these guys a rousing round of applause one more time. Charlie, thank you. That was an interesting segue into what I'm about ready to say. Well. Look who's sitting on the thrones of success. Congratulations. You just completed a period of many long hours, sleepless nights, aggravating instructors, seemingly impossible deadlines, too much procrastination, family crises, having to live at home with those irritants known as parents, and to top it off, an unforgiving virus that wasn't kidding around in its severity. But by golly, you made it. I want you to savor every minute of this day, the celebrations afterwards, the delight of accomplishment, because I'm about to bust the hell out of that bubble with a big dose of honest reality. Though the weavings of this message are created for those phenomenal students that you see before you, they can be applied by everyone present. There's also a special little piece for parents and caregivers. When I meet with my classes, I leave all the sugarcoating in the parking lot. What comes into the classroom are some compassionate yet hard, steely facts about the world, our society, and life in general. As with all my graduation missives, I have struggled, mumbled, and cursed more than a few times before finally settling on the topic du jour. In a way, this is also a challenge to you, as I personally know the immense emotional and cerebral challenge that is involved with applying this critical lesson to daily life. And you are saying to yourselves, oh, not another critical thinking challenge. I thought we were done with that. You will never be done with critical thinking. And if you are self-aware and honest with yourself, and you truly want to be successful, you will need to be proactive on today's subject for the remainder of your time on earth. You see, you are about to experience a major sea change. I always prefer transition or transformation to the term change. Changes are events, and today is an enormous event in your lives. As for transitions, according to psychologist Jeremy Hunter, transitions are the immense shifts of identity, possibility, and belief that occur to help us assimilate and adjust to change. These are not magical occurrences and will cast many craters and mountains to greet you as you move forward. Today, something familiar has come to an end. I have had students who have said they were nearly paralyzed with fear for being heaved into the real world, and I try to comfort them with the knowledge that time is not a straight line, but more like a sine wave. Only in this instance, a cycle of growth, maturation, death, that's figuratively, and rebirth. An ending is always necessary for a beginning. Many of you will feel as if you are stepping into a void. Where you are headed, there are no signposts, and what used to work will now be obsolete. Think of this stage as the pupa of a caterpillar. That caterpillar doesn't ask the question, what the hell is going on with me? Anxiety, doubt, disorientation, discomfort, in short, a horde of dragons will be facing you along with the accompanying sensations and feelings. And you were thinking, but this is a new start. That it is, but you may not feel that it fits. You may feel that everything has come to an end, and in one sense you are correct, but you haven't come to an end. If you are mindful and recognize what's going on, you won't be swallowed by that doubt. Some of you may also feel depressed and want to isolate, and that's natural. The system needs to slow down after all the pressure and cacophony. Just don't stay there too long. With all that joyous info, you are probably wondering just what the new rules, and above all, what do you need to begin this new journey? Here it is. You must, absolutely must, begin by letting go. Yes, letting go. What do you need to let go, to shed that no longer works, that you have outgrown? You wouldn't go to a final interview in pants and a shirt from your sophomore year in high school. At least I hope not. So it is with releasing elements that will prevent you from moving forward, such elements as resentment, the mask you thought you needed to wear, or the scripts that well-intended people handed you years ago. Those scripts are not your creation. They belong to someone else. At this very moment this morning, all of these elements have expired. The shelf life is over. If you persist in clinging to these, you are guaranteed to fail. To use another analogy, think of yourself rather like a hot air balloon, and I'm not implying anyone in this room is an overinflated gas bag. That balloon, in order to gain altitude, must jettison the onboard bags of sand. If it doesn't, it will never cease being too close to the ground, and that could result in a collision with a building or worse, a high-tension power line, both of which could be fatal. I know what many of you are thinking. Yes, I'm willing to change, and don't change me or anything in my life. When you accept your diploma today, both of those facts instantly transform. Whether you like it or not, you and your life will be changed forever, and you will be confronted with what it is that you will need to shed to clear the way for a positive outcome. After a great deal of thought, I have chosen 4 elements that I feel are absolutely critical to scrap if you are successfully going to move forward, and the first one is impatience. I have seen this morph into a ghoul, or to put it in a term found in the literature of several faiths, gin. This isn't the high-proof clear alcohol known to martinis, but a monster who cannibalizes live or dead flesh. It is a shape shifter. Think about that term. As we become impatient, our perception of our surroundings change to reflect those thoughts. We become one with the gin of impatience who gnaws at our kindness and understanding, creating a rabid, angry being who lashes out at the innocent. What's even worse is that we begin to cannibalize ourselves. We gloss over details and chide others for their slowness and lack of comprehension of what really matters. And pray tell, what is it that really matters? In our perceptions, everyone from our colleagues to our pets should be compliant and accept our bursts of anger and rage that are fueled by impatience. Now, the gin of impatience won't eat your flesh, but it will consume your soul, your attention, and hijack your heart and pollute your mind. It is a toxicant in your river of growth and progress, and its runoff will ruin many magnificent moments. You will never again know those moments, as they are gone forever. They become the past. But you have a new slate beginning at midnight, and upon awakening the next morning, affirm, today I will be mindful of patience with every experience and every living and non-living entity. Oh, remember to regularly step back and breathe. The second element to let go is the opposite of what you've been taught, and that's positivity. Positivity has a dark side, which has its roots in the perception of others' hackneyed definitions of happiness. In short, positivity is often what we positively don't need. Most likely, that saccharine sort of positivity is the hatchling from a union between an ironclad belief and a faulty perception that we are powerless, have no control or reason to believe we can do anything about our everything. For example, the doting parent who chides for coloring outside the lines or thinks imagination is silly. Many were told to stop seeking what it means to be their original self. Imbued with this distortion, you mature into an adult and are then doused with dollops of positive thinking. How could you be anything but joyous and positive? If you trip over a snag or fall into the trough of despair or grief, the heroes in white hats will come running with gallons of positivity to pour over your hurts. What is really being couched in the ersatz words, think positive, are the cold, dark steel directives, buck up, or get over it. Or for you gentlemen, the most crippling words in the English language, be a man. It's bad enough that you have just been emotionally shredded and have no idea where to find all the pieces to begin putting the self back together, and now you are shamed for being so damn sensitive. You must have a defective personality. I'm not deprecating the great effect of positivity because it can help some folks achieve happiness or optimism, but many studies find this mode of thought to be more harmful than helpful. Barbara Held, a professor of psychology, calls this the tyranny of positive attitude, which dictates that we must meet a prescribed deadline to dispose of our grief, sort of like disposing of a cheap hazmat suit. Okay, you've worn it for 6 months, now take it off, enjoy all that sunshine around you. What a bunch of effluvian, better known as bullshit. Negative experiences need to be acknowledged. They are part of life. To stomp them out is to tip life's balance to an uncomfortable position. This is by no means suggesting that we ignore positivity or negativity, because these two already like to ignore each other. But to suggest that all that matters is the positive is a half-truth, and a half-truth is far more toxic and lethal than a 100% virgin lie. Toxic positivity also dictates don't cry. Not only does crying release oxytocin and endorphins, it can help reduce pain and provide a sense of well-being. So let the tears flow. A much-loved doctor I grew up with and a grief counselor later in life told me that if we try to repress tears, we are ignoring the most fragile and meaningful side of our life and ourself. If we don't acknowledge grief of any form immediately, it will silently wait, and when least expected, it will thunder in with no warning, 100 times more painful than if acknowledged in the first place. Another critical point, we must stay in the present. Lao Tzu, who was a philosopher around 531 BC, made a stunningly simple and immensely powerful statement. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. If you are at peace, you're living in the present. Stay in the present and be aware of what transpires when there is hurt. To not acknowledge that hurt is to be dishonest to the self. The third element to let go is certainty. Opt instead for uncertainty. As Eric Elna says, you will soon realize that you are a mystery to yourself. And that self, more than anything, is fervently searching to hear the still small voice within. You will also be aware of something inside you that is pointing in a certain direction, asking you to follow, and you will resist, and thus discover the gift of uncertainty. Certainty is overrated. It's for kids. It takes away the joy in relationships and annihilates marriages. If you are currently living in certainty, you're only half-assed, neither here nor there. And if you're trying to be creative, certainty is guaranteed to kill that in a heartbeat. At the same time, you need to remember that failure can be an indicator that something is actually going right. Silently ask yourself the question, am I afraid of uncertainty? Because if the answer is yes, then you need to realize that uncertainty is what teaches you to abandon all concerns but the ones you are facing. Uncertainty gives you courage and empowers you to face those concerns. Only then will you see that with uncertainty, you can live with complete focus and exuberance. The subject of the fourth element, to let go, has been written about for centuries, and that's happiness. In the 15th century, happiness was defined as a form of luck. But as it has matured through the ages, happiness has become elusive and mysterious. The one thing that is certain is that happiness is not derived from external possessions or other people. Every time I ask students what their dream is, one or two will respond, "To be a millionaire." I cringe, for I know that this will not bring them the peace and contentment that are two of the bedrocks for happiness. What we are letting go here is looking outside oneself for happiness or chasing happiness. But just what are we chasing? We seldom define or even know the meaning. Here are just a few thoughts that repeatedly surface about just what happiness is. If you can grasp just one or two of these and allow them to guide you on your path, you will always have some level of happiness in your life. The first one we already covered, and that's living the script that someone else handed you. Get rid of that immediately, as it's one of the greatest barriers to happiness and a major cause of the ubiquitous anxiety and depression that I hear about all too often from my students. Strive to be your authentic self. If you don't know who that is, start compassionately looking within and make friends with that self. That self is your ultimate guide to success. Practice gratitude. Happiness is a state of mind. You don't need to try to chase it, as it already lives within you. You simply have to acknowledge it, and by practicing gratitude, you will experience increased and consistent feelings of happiness, and happiness is a journey, and remember, not a destination. Have you ever really wanted something and achieved it, and then a day or so later forgotten the elation? And then the cycle begins again. True happiness is in the pursuit of what you want, not achieving the goal. As stated before, stay in the present. Live for today. The happier you are today, the happier you will be tomorrow. Avoid the myth of perfection. It doesn't exist. And pursuing that ephemera only causes more anxiety and misery. As Adler said, have the courage to be imperfect. So we have shared 4 elements to let go: impatience, positivity, certainty, and looking outside the self for happiness. This last one is for the parents and caregivers listening today, and I hope you embrace what I'm about to share. Sitting before you are a group of magnificent individuals who reflect and embody your efforts in raising a child to adulthood. Some here have had horribly traumatic experiences throughout their childhood and adolescence, and through sheer determination, they have overcome those hurts and transgressions to come to this point of great accomplishment. In short, they let go their fears and perished in seeking what Adler said is critical for the balance in life: safety, significance, and belonging. Here at IPR, they found all 3. When they were troubled, we tried to help. When they were lost, we guided them back to a safe path. And when they felt alone, all of us let them know that they had a place, a course of study, and sincerely great admiration and empathy to let them know they belonged. Today, they are moving into a new world that, as said in the beginning, may feel like a huge void and an overwhelming challenge. It's very difficult to see your child getting ready to take flight, but here's the message: you too need to let go. Everything I've talked about letting go is not done without pain and anguish. This chapter of your job as a parent is complete. And though your vision may be clouded with tears and your heart is giving all sorts of reasons why they should not leave the nest, you must let go completely. Just let me add 2 simple parting words to all of you watching. Thank you. Well, that's it, at least for the moment. Now go. Do great work. Never lose the child in you. Believe in the sparkles of the tiniest dewdrops, and never lose all for the explosions of the greatest stars, or for the greatest creation, yourself. Remember that the universal spirit will only send back what you transmit. It doesn't know the difference between negative and positive. With these simple yet profound thoughts, I send you on your way. I hope what I have shared in this little offering resonates in some small way. I have learned so much from you. Thank you seems like a very meager statement. Many blessings. Go do great things, and be careful out there. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Trey Wodele. I'm the Associate Campus Director here at IPR, and it is my honor to introduce you to the Winter and Spring 2021 graduates of the Institute of Production and Recording. Woo. With an Associate of Applied Science in Audio Production and Engineering for winter of 2021, Amanda Hegland. Thomas Nolden, cum laude. And for spring of 2021, Robert Bay, cum laude. Derek Franklin. Eli Gullickson. Tanner Coley. Gabriel Vasquez. And Sean White. With an Associate of Applied Science in Sound Design for Visual Media in winter of 2021, Joseph Hagley, cum laude. And in spring, Elisha Phillip. Casey Reinitz. Brandon Scheffen, cum laude. With an Associate of Applied Science in Live Sound and Show Production this winter, Adam Dow. Andrina Hussein. Adegoke Ode, cum laude. And in spring of 2021, Sanam Hussein. And Jack Nelson. With an Associate of Applied Science in Digital Video and Media Production for winter of 2021, Andrew Orvik, magna cum laude. And Chandler Worry. And for spring of 2021, Logan Chelmo, cum laude. Abigail Schatzschneider. Meghan Trandahl, magna cum laude. Alexander Yatokoske, cum laude. And now with dual degrees in audio production and engineering and sound design for visual media this winter, Jack Lanners, cum laude. And in spring 21, Robert Daly, cum laude. With dual degrees in audio production and engineering and live sound and show production, we have Michael Ciccone. He's not here though, is he? But let's give him some applause. Let's move on to the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Video and Media Production, Chan Kang. Tiffani Liebel. Christopher March. And Alex Ziegler. All right. My colleagues will be mad at me if I don't mention, as I always do, that this is my very favorite part, because I sound so official. As a duly authorized representative of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education and Associate Campus Director at the Institute of Production and Recording, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Associate of Applied Science in your respective programs. And, again, as a duly authorized representative of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education and Associate Campus Director at the Institute of Production and Recording, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Video and Media Production. Wait. Now it's official. Change your tassel from the right to left on your cap. Congratulations, everyone. Encore. All right, now it's time to recognize some students for various reasons, and we'll start with our valedictorians. Each graduation IPR names a valedictorian based on academic ranking. Students with the highest GPA is awarded the honor of the valedictorian, and the valedictorian for the winter 2021 class is Michael Ciccone. Michael, as we said earlier, isn't here today, but he did prepare a video to talk to y'all a little bit.
Thank you, Trey. I wanted to open by giving a huge thanks to all the students and staff and family members who have helped each of us get to this point. So many of us came from different backgrounds, different ages, different states even, but I know every person here has each other's backs, regardless of the need. When I moved here, I was moving out of Ohio for the first time in my life. I was going through a complete career change, and I didn't know what I wanted to do or how I was going to get there. But IPR and Minneapolis both welcomed me. It felt like I was just coming home, so that was really great. So I wanted to extend my sincere thanks to Peter and Christopher and Colt, and each of my friends and classmates, and my parents who don't know I'm giving this speech right now, so hi, Mom and Dad. And give everyone a moment to thank their support structure that helped them reach this point. So I had a couple of stories that I figured I'd share that were aha moments or sudden realizations that have helped me get to this point as well. So when I was at college at OSU, one of my best friends and I were working on a math assignment, and I was just not getting it at all. We were going through the same equation a dozen times, and I swear I got a different result every single time. Finally, we arrived at the same answer. I don't know if it was actually right, but I was anxious and stressed because that one equation in question had taken us probably an hour at that point, and I was just picturing doing the rest of the assignment for the rest of the night, doing each equation a dozen extra times, and having to tackle tomorrow with little to no sleep. But he made a simple offhand comment that I won't forget, and that is, progress isn't linear. Just because you're spinning your wheels now, or you feel like you're going nowhere, doesn't mean that you won't be speeding along later in life. There's no loading bar for life or school or work that crawls along slowly at the same rate. You'll have days where you spend hours on what seems like the simplest or stupidest things and you get frustrated, and you'll have days where that same thing will take you 5 minutes. But the truth is, every second you spend on your craft is progress, and you never know when that will carry you to new heights. You never know when that breakthrough is going to come, so just continue grinding. Don't lose yourself in the frustration of the moment and lose sight of all the potential that you're creating. Those remaining math problems didn't take the rest of the night, fortunately. We probably spent an hour on the rest of the assignment, mostly because we'd spent so much time learning and hammering home those concepts on the first problem that we knew how to apply them on the rest. So just keep in mind that progress isn't linear. And I know a lot of us put a lot of pressure on ourselves too. So much of our lives are documented, either online or otherwise, but a lot of what's presented is just the best of everybody. Nobody sees the 32 takes before the final perfect attempt. Nobody sees the ruffled shirt, hair, and face pictures before the perfect shot, and everybody forgets that that's what it takes to make something that you're genuinely proud of. It's terrifying because we often expect perfection on the first try, and then we forget that The hours or days or years that it takes to reach that perfection is the exact thing that makes the final product so gratifying. So embrace failure because it's actually part of the process. As some of you may know, I interned at a church in Golden Valley called Calvary Lutheran starting in July last year. This was toward the beginning of COVID, and Calvary had recently established a live stream for Sunday services so that people could watch safely at home. I'd never worked in a real live setting before, and definitely not a broadcast production. So they trained me on cameras first, and keep in mind I'm mainly an audio guy. And then they let me run front of house to a mostly empty sanctuary the next week. And at Calvary, most of the musical performances and lights are timed and triggered through Ableton, which have cues built in for when to stop and start, and they run into each other really nicely. So on the third week, I was running Ableton for the live stream, and I stopped a little bit early, so I missed the lighting cue. No big deal, I'll just hit play and resume and then hit the lighting cue and then stop it right after. But the playhead preference was set to return to the start of the first playback. So instead of sending the correct cue, I accidentally sent a bass drop and blackout cue right as the pastor was coming up and starting his sermon. It was really bad. But I'm actually still there. They hired me on part-time in August, and I've been working there ever since. It's legitimately the best job I think I've ever had. I've learned a ton, worked with a lot of really great, really smart people, and I can proudly say I haven't turned the lights off on the pastor since. So just keep in mind, failure isn't something that you need to be afraid of. It's a part of life. It's a necessary step in learning, and most importantly, it's a building block to a better you in the future. I know a lot of us are feeling a little anxious about our career paths, especially with so much of the entertainment industry just now slowly opening up. Those of us that are feeling that way, I'd like to say, just have faith and keep the course. Look at where you are today. I mean, we've already made it through school during a pandemic. We learned how to use software we'd never touched via Zoom, and we literally evolved with the industry in real time on necessity alone. We can make it through anything, so just keep pushing forward. Keep moving forward, and then every once in a while, remember to look back just to remind yourself of how far you've already come. However, if I ever have to watch another commercial with sad piano music telling me it's an unprecedented time and that Coca-Cola is the answer, I'm going to lose it. And I'm looking at you, post-production people. Like I said earlier, my path here was mired in a lot of uncertainty. I moved to the cities having visited exactly twice. And I added the live sound program actually basically on a whim a couple months before starting. I still have no idea what I'll be doing in 2 or 5 or 10 or even 50 years from now. None of us really do. And that scares me, but it's also thrilling. David Bowie once said, if you feel safe in the area you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always go a little further into the water than you feel you're capable of being in. Go a little bit out of your depth, and when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting. We don't need to be afraid of uncertainty or of the future. We also can't wait for the perfect opportunity to come along and smack us in the face. We can't say, I'll go for it as soon as I have X, or learn Y, or meet person Z. We just need to put our feet in the water, wade in, and swim.
Thank you, Michael. And the valedictorian for the spring 2021 class is Elisha Phillip.
Thanks, Trey. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? All right. So I'm going to keep this brief but compact for you guys. So good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elisha Phillip. I was part of the sound design program here at IPR. First off, I would like to give thanks and glory to God for getting me here in this point of my life. To our families, our support teams, thank you for supporting us and loving us. To my personal village, my support team, my family, thank you so much for believing in me and for pushing me to be the best version of myself possible. To the amazing IPR staff, lab staff, instructors, faculty, thank you so much for getting to us here today. Your dedication, encouragement, and the passion for your crafts is represented in each and every student sitting here on this stage. And to the most distinguished graduating class IPR has ever seen, I'm honored to be standing here to commemorate you on graduation. To quote an Irish author, James Joyce, he says, "Better to pass boldly into that other world in some full glory of some passion than to fade and wither dismally with age." I believe that we as a class exemplify this statement. You know, in our midst, we have audio engineers, we have sound designers, producers, musicians, live sound people, videographers, entrepreneurs, the list goes on, but most importantly, we have friends. But in all reality, we basically have a full production team right here, like literally, for real. You know, I don't know how many hours on set or in the studio we've logged. It's been a lot. Between those long hours on set to those late night studio sessions and then those late night studio sessions. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But in all seriousness, well done, graduates. Well done on pursuing your dreams and working toward making them a reality, because most people never get that opportunity. Well done on sticking to the craft and the grind of school. Well done on the countless tests, projects, exams, studio time, everything. Just well done on making it through that at the expense of our sleep schedule. And well done, finally, on reaching this tremendous milestone in life. And don't take it lightly. Anything is possible. And when you encounter opposition and problems in life, just do what we learned here and troubleshoot it. Again, thank you to family, friends, for being with us both today and in our own lives. More specifically, thank you, parents, for being our coaches, friends for being our teammates, and instructors and administrators for being our mentors. Once again, congratulations to the IPR Spring Graduating Class of 2021. Thank you.
Nice job, Elisha. All right. Next, we will talk about the Icon Awards. Ever heard of them? Really? Icon Award recipients are selected by faculty and program leadership. Students are chosen not on the basis of their GPAs, but for their commitment, work ethic, and leadership, both in and out of the classroom. I should note that the awards are not necessarily given in each program or even at every graduation, as students who are named IPR icons must be truly exceptional. So I'm sorry to say none of you were, no, I'm just kidding. Next, I'd just like to introduce Colt Leeb. He's the program director for the audio programs, and he'll give out the first of our first two Icon Awards.
Hello. Hey. Congratulations, all of you. Very proud to see you all up here. The Icon Award for Winter 2021 APE goes to Michael Ciccone. The Icon Award for Spring 2021 goes to Robert Daly. Come on up here, Rob. Next up to give the Icon Award for Sound Design for Visual Media, we have Luke Harper.
Hi, it's good to be back. Hi, missed you all. Hi. Oh, what a crop. So, these are cool because they really get to say something kind of profound about what's great about teaching you guys. And that's that we get to watch you come in as total, fresh, sweet little babies, just clueless and fresh and pink and just, oh, you're so cute. And we get to see you grow and learn and actually get somewhere. And not all of you graduate. I don't know, like, you guys should be pretty proud. Like, there's a bunch of people that don't make it, and I think you know that. But you all made it. And some of you are really great case studies for a great student. Someone who comes in, cleanly does exactly what they're supposed to do, clearly grows, clearly learns, clearly becomes extremely competent at what we're trying to teach them, and then becomes a really great team member, somebody that anybody would be lucky to have on a team. Hey. So, with that, I'm going to give this to, no, I'm just kidding. It's for Brandon Scheffen. Come on, Brandon. Oh, look at him. He's so surprised, too. Why are you surprised? He's surprised, that's awesome. Well, you earned it. We wouldn't just randomly give it to you. Good job. Oh, I really wish we had a minute so I could get you all up here and give you a bit of a hug. Yeah. So we now have some additional awards to give out, and the instructors weren't available, so we have some video for this. Please enjoy.
Well, hello. My name is Peter Greenlund. I'm one of the instructors from the Live Sound and Show Production program, and it is my honor to be able to announce the Icon winner for this quarter. And before I divulge the name, I just want to let you know that this is one of those amazing students that all of us instructors just hope that we can get. Right from the get-go, super attentive. His notebook was out, his pencil was flying, and always took detailed notes. So we knew he was paying attention. But more so, once we started deploying some of these skills, that notebook would come back out onto the desktop, and he's reviewing his notes and applying it to his new skill sets. It was just a dream come true. So this was from his the startup 18 months ago, and he just held that same sort of work ethics throughout his entire stay. So some great parenting there for sure. Well, without further ado, I would like to present the Icon Award to Mike Ciccone. And what a pleasure it is. Attaboy, Mike.
Hello, my name is Andrew Hunt, and I am the lead instructor for the digital video program. Sadly, I'm not able to be with you all today, but I was really excited when they asked if I would mind being put on camera and pass out a few awards. Speaking of awards, and this is the beautiful thing about the video and film industry, is that I currently don't have an award, but Matt Moss, being the digital wizard that he is currently putting an Icon Award in the palm of my hand right now. I mean, the coolest thing is it looks totally realistic. You would never think that it's like a digital, a CGI kind of element or prop, and poof. Wow, that was amazing, wasn't it? Smoke and mirrors. So anyhow, let's jump into the awards. The first award that we're going to be giving out is for the Winter of 2021 Icon Award. And this goes to a student that, to be quite honest, I never ever looked at her as a student at all, because she carried herself like a seasoned pro. And Tiffani is just a rock star. A lot of the film sets that she's been on with us, she was the sound mixer or worked boom. She worked in sound on a lot of film sets, not just on student projects, but also on a lot of professional projects as well. The way she carried herself, again, absolute pro all the time. And what was really shocking, though, is that her audio skills were always top-notch. I would hire her for my own professional gigs because I always just trusted the work that she did. But what really blew me away was during her Thesis 2 project, where she wrote, produced, and directed and edited like a 12-minute short film. You know, it was one thing that Tiffani was just this amazing sound guru. It was another thing to see her as a writer, as a director, and as a producer, and how professional she was, and how much she planned and was organized, and the way she cut the movie and put the movie together, and the way she worked with actors and worked with crew, really just kind of blew everybody away. We already knew she was amazing with, you know, a mixer and a mic. We just didn't realize how amazing she was with a camera and as a director. So for the Winter of 2021 Icon Award goes to Ms. Tiffani Liebel. All right, so let's move on to our next award. So let's talk about Spring 2021. This was a really, really tough group of students, right? Because there was some, I kind of joked about it and called this group the Delta Force. And the reason I called them the Delta Force is because every single student in this group was just phenomenal. And it made it incredibly hard for me to basically decide who gets the Icon Award for the spring of 2021. So, you know, I like to break some rules, and so that's what we're doing this quarter, or for this graduation for the spring of 2021. So the Icon Award goes to, as probably Trey has said and other people have said, to students that are excellent and across the board. And the first student that gets this, again, another kid that came in and just had this level of professionalism the entire time that he's been here. He's been a person who kind of his confidence is his superpower. Not cocky, but just being confident. His experience behind the camera made him the DP that everybody wanted to work with, because not only did he give amazingly great images, the stuff that he filmed, but he was very serious about it. Your project was as important to Alex as it was to yourself. And so for the spring of 2021 for the Icon Award, the first student to receive this award is, all right, Alex, here we go. Let's see if I can get this. Alex Yatokoske. Yatokoske. Matt, you can just dub my voice if I butchered it. So congratulations, Alex. Again, had a blast teaching you, and you were just so much fun to watch work. Okay, so going on to the next student that receives a Spring of 2021 Icon Award. This student I kind of consider a little bit of a wallflower. Someone who's quiet, and you know, a lot of the times the Icon Award goes to a student who is a little, you know, stands out in the crowd and is a leader with a louder voice than maybe some of the other students. But this student in particular is kind of like the dark horse. When I first started teaching Logan, he was kind of a quiet, shy kid, but he always got his work done. Hard worker, everything was delivered on time. He took everything that he did incredibly serious. And as he progressed through the program, you could see that confidence building, but it was a quiet confidence. And when it came to him directing his own projects, he was always very serious, always very planned, organized, and always a lot of fun to watch work. The other thing that I just truly enjoyed from watching Logan was how he worked with other people and how, again, just like Alex, took their projects, he took them as serious as a film as the director did. As an assistant director, he was fantastic, just in all the different aspects that he worked. And the other thing that I really appreciate about Logan was that he was fearless. I say this because his thesis 2 project, was about a school shooting. And where a lot of people would probably stay away from that type of topic, Logan took it head on. And watching the edits and watching it come together, just absolutely impressed and just thrilled by, you know, the leaps and bounds that Mr. Logan Chelmo has made. So for the other student to win the 2021 Icon Spring goes to Mr. Logan Chelmo.
Chelmo.
And then, like I said, we like to break rules. So, besides the Icon Award, there's another award that we like to give sometimes. And this is the Leadership Spotlight Award. This award, in the past, we give the Icon Award, you know, every couple quarters to students that deserve it. And the Leadership Award has only been given out 2 other times since we've been doing this here at IPR. And this goes out to a young lady who kind of came in. You know, there's some people that enter a room. Meghan explodes into one. She is just this hungry, you know, leader that comes in and basically whips a group into shape and leads a crew in any direction. She's always organized, always serious. Basically takes the art of making film and the logistical elements of making a film both equally. She is a great partner to work with on a film set, and she pushes people. Meghan's one of these people that likes to beg for forgiveness instead of ask for permission. And a lot of the times, as a producer and as a director, those are the kinds of things that you need to do to move ahead and move forward. And Meghan is just an all-star. And I couldn't be more proud to give this special award to Ms. Meghan Trandahl, which is the Spring 2021 Leadership Spotlight Award.
Congratulations. I usually like to end with a few remarks, but Portia inspired me to sit back there and redraft it, so I have 15 things I want to talk to you about. I'm kidding. You're going to leave here, and in a few years down the road, you're going to have some feelings about stuff. You're going to probably miss your classmates. You may miss some instructors. You may miss the projects. You probably won't miss all of the late nights, but maybe. But one of the feelings I hope you never have is regret. I hope you look back on your time here as something that was special, and something that allowed you to draw the passion that you have and go out into the world and do something that you're proud of. I know that we will be watching with great anticipation of all the amazing things that you're going to do. So, will you all stand? I'd like to present everyone with the graduating classes of Winter and Spring 2021. All right, now get out of here and start celebrating.